A surprise attack on a Russian city just 25 miles from Ukraine's border by reportedly anti-Putin Russian insurgents. We are Russians, just like you, says a member of a group calling itself the Liberty of Russia Legion. They ominously declare everything is going according to plan. Ukrainian officials sharing video of Russian civilians fleeing Belgorod after the operation. And the head of Ukrainian intelligence issuing an online appeal for Russian soldiers to surrender from the, quote, upcoming meat grinder, saying it will get worse. Confuse and deceive the enemy. It would be playbook psychological operation strategy before Ukraine launches a counteroffensive. Fog up the war even more. Force the Russians to redeploy their limited forces. From Belgorod to Bakhmut. Videos are spreading on social media that counter the Russian narrative of victory in Bakhmut. This one, unverified, purports to show Ukrainian forces still operating within the city. And others, like this one from Roman Truckmets, a Ukrainian fighter we've been following, boasts of Ukrainian advances on the flanks of Russian forces in Bakhmut. We are on positions right now that were under Rus expletive occupation this morning, Roman says. This is a fantastic feeling. Here's what the map is showing. The area in orange, the westernmost section of Bakhmut, is where the Russians claim they've dislodged the last of Ukraine's defenders. But then there are the blue patches to the north and south, areas where the Ukrainians say they've pushed back the Russians, semi-encircling them.
For whatever reason, whether the troops there are just now exhausted or whether they've lost so many troops they can't seem to hold either side, the Ukrainians have discovered that the sides of Bakhmut are much weaker for the Russians, and they're beginning to push them back.
The topographic map explains why Ukraine's gains may prove significant. Russia now holds the area in green, the low ground. Overlooking them, Ukrainian forces in the red area to the southwest of the city, the high ground. Terrain taken back by the Ukrainians in recent days. Ukraine appears to be taunting Russia to commit more forces, which would pull them from other defensive positions, lest Ukraine use the high ground to bombard Bakhmut. We continue to advance on the flanks in the suburbs of Bakhmut and are actually approaching the capture of the city in a tactical encirclement, says Ukraine's commander of ground forces. Thanks to this, we'll be able to control all high-rise buildings occupied by the enemy and gradually destroy them. Russia has left Ukraine with few reasons not to. That city's pre-war, beautiful tree-lined avenues and 19th century buildings used to attract tourists, now a wasteland. Moscow may be touting victory here, but after exhausting the Russians in Bakhmut, if Ukraine achieves its counteroffensive ambitions, it could be deemed that Russia's winning the battle helped it lose the war. As far as that attack in Russia, Ukrainian military intelligence isn't claiming involvement in the operation, instead saying it's Russian citizens who want to see, for their own country's benefit, Putin removed. But little is known at this point about the group calling itself the Freedom of Russia Legion. Jason Bellini, Scripps News, Kyiv, Ukraine.